Good afternoon and many thanks for making time for KTN Newsdesk. This is indeed news as it happens on this 23rd Friday of August 2013. My name is Bonny Tunya. Coming up on this bulletin, Siaya Governor Cornel Rosanga has become the first official elected governor to lose his seat following an election petition earlier on. We have the details. Welcome to the program. Siaya Governor Cornel Rosanga has become the first governor to lose his seat since the March 4th elections. The Kisumu High Court nullified Rosanga's election after a petition filed by William Odwol, his opponent in the March 4th polls. Now, Justice Agre Muchelule ruled that the election was not free and fair, scrutinizing the evidence the petitioner William Odwol presented in the open court. Now, a partial recount of three constituencies in the county also revealed massive irregularities that convinced the judge the two contestants will now square it off in a by-election.
The good people of Siaya, and indeed the rest of the country, that we had won overwhelmingly and that our victory was stolen. Okay. So this, for us, is the beginning of the end of impunity.
If the decision is allowed to stand, then it will be very easy in future for somebody who has otherwise lost elections at the poll to claim victory by simply accessing the stores where election materials are kept and having stolen a sufficient number of ballot papers from ballot boxes, then go to court, reclaim a recount of what he has left and claim victory.
Now you can follow reactions and a follow-up of this story on our official website, that is www.standardmedia.co.ke. Moving on, Chairman of the Governor's Council, Isaac Ruto, and like-minded governors say they will not relent on a push for a national referendum to ensure a 45% stake in the last audited national annual revenue as anchored on the Constitution for sharing by county governments. Now, the governors have warned that a double-digit economic growth promised by the Jubilee government will only be a mirage if counties are not given enough resources for development. Purposes for the Governor's Council has promises to partner with the civil society to empower the Senate and push for effective devolution.
Devolution has been the driving force behind the clamor for the constitutional changes that have been moving on. Basically because of the skewed allocation of resources since independence, the marginalization of very many Kenyans, and the over-concentration of power and resources in very few hands, and the use of those resources for patronage purposes. The more I listen to our top political leaders, the more I'm convinced we must go for the referendum. The more they try to convince us against it, the more we are convinced we must do it. Reason? Even at this age, at the digital age, we are still appealing to tribal affiliations. Even at this age, we can still say the government is ours. Even at this age, I don't want to say the rest.
People have faith in the fact that economic development will take place in these counties. Now, coming to the Jubilee factor, if you do not support these 47 county governments, I guarantee you, you're bound to fail and you will have nothing to tell Kenyans after 5 years in terms of the double-digit economic growth that you will not achieve unless you empower for the 47 counties.
When it comes to sharing resources the way the Constitution has said and the other acts of Parliament, you can't trust national government. The transferred functions that were being performed by former local authorities in February, up to date, not a single shilling of money that had been approved for budgets to implement those functions has been transferred to the county governments. Do we want to continue being beggars? For how long? Every financial year, we are begging. Every financial year, we are begging. No.
We stay with matters of referendum, and Kigumo Member of Parliament Jamle Kamau has termed calls for a referendum as premature. He called on governors to work with the funds already allocated to the counties instead of asking for more even before the work begins in earnest. Now this while Kitui Central MP Makali Mulu said it was too early to subject Kenyans to another round of voting, given that this is just too early. Now speaking during a forum with heads of governments in Kitui, the legislature adds the counterparts to agitate for the full implementation of the constitution instead of asking for more resources.
For those who really want to push this business of referendum to say that we should give 40%, maybe they need to look at our own Jubilee manifesto, which states that we are committed to giving up to 40% of the revenue to the national governments. And those who do not actually perhaps know what our manifesto says, what they are trying to say that should happen in the referendum is actually what is in our manifesto.
Let's go to Bomet, where County Assembly Interim Clerk Daniel Olenkere has been suspended by Bomet County Governor Isaac Ruto for allegedly misappropriating funds. Daniel Olenkere is said to have put up an advertisement in a local daily on a program in an induction workshop that cost 1.5 million shillings, bearing the logo of Bomet County. An ad that Isaac Ruto says was unauthorized and had embarrassed his government. Following the suspension, the Bomet governor directed Olenkere to report to the Transition Authority for further instructions.
Bila LPO. I wish to set the record straight that the county government of Bomet has nothing to do with the advertisement, as it was not authorized and the approval of the county secretary was not sought before it was put up. The advertisement, running into a tune of more than shillings 125 million, is misuse of public funds and parliamentary autonomy, and will bear no responsibility for the illegal expenditure.
Moi University has received an aeroplane donation that is set to boost its School of Aerospace Science. The plane that was donated by the university was transported via road and taken to the Eldoret airstrip, where it will be used for training in aircraft engineering. Here now is Marcy Kandiye.
It was a big donation, literally, one that is set to strengthen the Moi University School of Aerospace Sciences. The plane Cessna 303 will be an addition to the 3 other planes in the university and will be used for maintenance training in aircraft engineering.
So for maintenance purposes, we want to make Eldoret the center for maintenance of aircraft.
The school, being the first in East and Central Africa to train students in aerospace sciences, hopes to also be the center in Africa for aircraft maintenance.
In Africa being an economy which is emerging, there will be need for more aircrafts, for pilots and also aircrafts in this continent. So I believe that we in Kenya, we are doing the right thing now by preparing ourselves for the future.
The public university in Eldoret hopes to partner with the government so as to be able to empower the School of Aerospace Sciences. There is a shortage in the number of pilots in the country, even though studying inside Kenya is a cheaper option for aspiring pilots compared to overseas studies. The Moi University School of Aerospace Sciences was established in 2009 and its pioneer students set to graduate this year. Marcy Kandiye, KTN, Eldoret, Uasin Gishu County.
From Eldoret, we'll stop in Naivasha, where the cases of female genital mutilation have declined across the country, with statistics indicating a drop of at least 5% in every 5 years. A study done on girls aged between 15 and 19 years shows that the vice has dropped from 38% in 98 to 27% in the year 2011. Martha Tureti, the World Vision National Gender Coordinator, says in every 10 girls aged between 15 to 19, 3 of them have gone through to the cart, speaking in Kipkonyo Primary School in Naivasha, where over 100 girls graduated after undergoing an alternative rite of passage. Tureti said they are facing several challenges like cultural beliefs, but they are determined to eradicate the vice.
Oversight ni kutengeneza sheria. Na nimesikitika sana wakati maji. Mushikie hapo na muongee. Watoto wakiwa wadogo nilikosana na mama yao. Utakuta wazee ni wengi. Akina mama ndio wengi.
Kwa sababu ni mzee mzima tu ndio anapeana huyu mtoto aende akatwe. Mzee mzima tu na mama yake ndio wanachukua ng'ombe akipeanwa. Ni sisi pia lazima tujiangalie, tuseme tunachunga na tunahifadhi watoto wetu na wasichana wetu.
Men in the communities are their opinion leaders. When they say no, they say no. When they say yes, FGM is going to take place for our girls, it will happen. If they told their wives, my daughters are not going to do FGM, indeed, FGM stops to happen at families. So the men, the boys, the young men, please let's stand up together and say no to female genital mutilation.
I thought we were done with Eldoret, but let's get back there with another happy story. Residents of Eldoret and its environs received a rare treat of entertainment show when the Radio Maisha caravan pitched camp in the area. The team reached out to residents of the North Rift as the radio station extended its reach to the wider Eldoret area. Now, fans braved the chilly weather for an opportunity to meet face-to-face with their favorite Radio Maisha presenters, who also offered prizes to those who interacted with the hosts. The caravan made stopovers at Burnt Forest, Eldoret Town, Kisumu, Ndogo, and finally at Huruma Grounds, where they held a huge rally. Radio presenters Anthony Ndiema, Alex Mwakideu, Emmanuel Mwashumbe, and comedian Mshamba thrilled fans in several stopovers as they headed to the populous capital and commercial center, Uasin Gishu County. The event marked the first roadshow since the station was relaunched in June now this year, as the team seeks to showcase new broadcast items across the country. Radio Maisha recently unveiled new frequencies in Eldoret, Kericho, Kitale, Kitui, broadening its reach widely. Now the station is one of the products of the Standard Group Broadcasting in Eldoret region at a frequency of 90.5 and 91.1. East African Breweries this morning announced a 38% dip in profits for its 2013 financial year. Now, during the year, the beer maker posted 6.94 billion shillings in profit after tax, which is a drop from the 11.2 billion shillings posted in the previous year. Now, the drop was largely attributed to the loan taken in November of 2011 to buy a 20% stake in Kenya Breweries from Sub Miller. Interest on the loan covered for a full year trading compared with 7 months of the prior fiscal year, but it was not all doom and gloom for the brewer, with revenues growing by 6% to 59 billion shillings. Overall net grew by 10%, driven by beer and spirit performance. However, the cost of sales grew 10% to 31.6 billion shillings and was a result of higher energy prices, increased warehousing and distribution expenses, and an increase in import charges in Tanzania.
How the businesses performed, I think that Kenya was strong, the economy was solid, our market position is solid, and we were pretty pleased with our Kenya position overall. Uganda, the economy was challenging, the market was quite challenging, and our overall performance was not quite where we wanted it to be. In Tanzania, again, we had a challenging market, 25% increase in excise tax right at the start of the year. I was pleased that we grew net sales by 10%. I was pleased that we grew our market share by over 150 basis points, but the overall investments that we're making in Tanzania mean that our profit delivery in that business unit wasn't where we would want it to be.